Obama. We're still in an era of change because Obama failed to change anything in a transformative way. Or he changed it in a way that, well, we got more white millionaires, right? Trump came in and didn't do it either. That's why Ann Coulter's so mad at him. That's why the conservatives are fighting. He did a big tax cut for the rich, but he didn't change either. So what happens is, because Obama and Trump didn't do what they were supposed to do in terms of change for like regular people, we're still in an era of change. And still being in an era of change means we still have opportunity. But we're in the right moment, but we got to make it happen. Like, let me just bring up Buttigieg's family for you just 1 second. Just so we understand. Just so we understand. And you have to also understand that his grandfather was Dr. John Montgomery. His grandfather was a professional from a time no one but elite got to have that access. These are old professionals. These aren't like new little, these are old professionals. Understand that what that means in terms of wealth and knowledge transfer. We talk a lot about wealth transfer. We don't talk enough probably about knowledge transfers. We have to talk about that. And we have to talk about what that means. You don't get to claim. See, part of the problem with the intersectionality argument and the diversity argument is that we've allowed these people. This is like, understand that I don't care. I don't care about his. When we talk about, like, people love to say, well, he will be the first gay president. Listen, let me ask you a question. I just want to ask you a question. If this man had a woman on his arm as opposed to a man, what would be the difference? I'm talking about difference in outcomes. If instead of having a man on his arm, he had a woman, what would be the difference in outcomes? Because you got to talk to me. Everybody got to talk about difference in outcomes. Stop talking to me about how somebody called you a name or whatever. We're talking about, when we talk about politics, we're talking about inheritance. His mother probably inherited from her doctor daddy. You have a long line of accrued advantage, whereas we have a long line of accrued disadvantage. Sexuality doesn't make him black. Him being gay doesn't make him black. There is no sameness. There is no diversity. Well, he's a gay man and you black, y'all a diverse group. No, we got to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. Gayness doesn't translate into a black experience, into ADOS experience. It doesn't translate into ADOS life. It doesn't translate into ADOS cost. It doesn't translate into ADOS what we've endured all these years. People have made us buy into what is basically a con. And it is the con of having this idea that because somebody is gay, that somehow makes them have a sameness with you, a sameness with me, a sameness with other ADOS people. I didn't see anywhere in the stuff that he's talked about where he said he was oppressed in some kind of way because of his sexuality. I never saw that. Because the man is still a white man. And he still has the wealth transfers and the outcomes of white America in terms of wealth. And everyone who is able to access whiteness. And we have to understand that. See, diversity, you have to understand. Diversity is like a scale without numbers. Where you just put everything on the scale and say it weigh the same. You put everything on the scale. You put a big bushel of grapes on the scale and say it weighs 5 pounds. You put a grain of salt on the scale and say it weighs 5 pounds. Right? You put a big bag of coffee on the scale and say, yeah, it weighs 5 pounds too. And so so we can't make correct assessments, and it's a con for us. For everybody else, it's a win-win. If you can inherit all that stuff, if you can inherit money and privilege and whiteness and a life with 2 professional parents and you a Rhodes Scholar, if you can do all of that and still say that you are oppressed in a similar way, or that there is some sameness in oppression because of diversity of we're all oppressed, I'm gay and you ADOS, that's a con. No, I don't see any oppression in your life. Nobody who runs for president at 37 is oppressed. Sorry. What you had at most was some people who don't like you or who said bad things about you. That's not oppression. That's just life as it is. And so we make it like, well, he doesn't owe us as a white man because he's gay. But what? What you mean? Well, he's gay. He's an ally. What you mean? I don't understand what you're saying. Because a lot of what he is saying, when he has conversations, a lot of what he is saying sounds a lot about like what other people say. I mean, he just sounds white. And because he is. But when you begin to make it about sexuality, then it sort of like makes you not see him for what he is. It makes you not see his privilege for what it, and it makes you not see his advantage for what it is. Look who's on his bandwagon. This is an endorsement. There's no other way to put it. If you read this, this is an endorsement. And this is who is doing the endorsing. That's Rahm Emanuel. Yes, Chicago's on, baby. Tell me why. Nothing in politics just happens. Why is Rahm doing this? There is no, well, whatever. Everybody in politics has an agenda. That's the first lesson of politics. So tell me why this is happening. Why is Rahm Emanuel, 44th mayor of Chicago, coming out for you? Because you're both white men. And then why? And you sound just like it. Like this was a good tweet, and it was about tech. But it was about how the Verge put out a story and got it wrong. It says this story, for instance, gets what Pete Buttigieg said wrong. Buttigieg didn't say big tech needs to be broken up. He said the law needs to be updated because it can't handle big tech. That's a way of saying he won't do anything. So you sound like a typical politician too. Like it doesn't sexuality doesn't transform anything into you to where you become a superhero and you understand ADOSness and ADOS life and you have some kind of sympathy. No. There's nothing different. You will have the same life if you had married a woman. There is no oppression here. Where is the oppression? What are y'all talking about? That's not been my life. Like, where is the oppression? Like, and it's funny. Like, when you see what people will be like, well, Yvette, they're gay, everybody, gay black people, but no. The LGBT community as ADOS still experiences ADOS life. It just is what it is. That's why we have to have a race first approach. And when I say race, I'm not talking about immigrants. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about people who have slavery as our part of our accrued disadvantage. We can't be out here talking about, oh, we LGBT and da 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 da. No. Because they're going to use that all the way to the bank. Remember Michael Sam, I talked about this last week. They will use it up and drop you off because at the end of the day, they see you as everybody else do. You still just ADOS, you still black, you still bottom caste, and I'm going to use you to do this thing, get all this attention, and when it comes time to help you, I'm not there. We are in this together and ain't nobody else in here with us. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you LGBT, because I ain't Pete Buttigieg or whatever his name is. I don't care who you are. I'm tired of you unicorns too while I'm talking. I'm tired of y'all. Y'all go out of here. Y'all go out here and I see you. I definitely see you. You carve a little lightning bolt in the left side of your right side of your hair, and you do something weird and change your hair color blue, and you say, "Oh, Yvette, I'm LGBT, and I just claim LGBT," and you make your whole life about your sexuality, and you just end up being this little weird little thing. It's called escape hatching. You try to escape hatch your way to whiteness, and sometimes it works a little bit. Because they need to have you around. You couldn't have an organization around without you gotta have like an LGBT person in there. You're never gonna have me in there, but you gotta have an LGBT person in there. So what you do is you get this person with this lightning bolt carved in their head or whatever, and they just represent you and run around and escape hatch because they tired of blackness. I don't want to deal with blackness no more. I'm gonna escape hatch out of this. I'm gonna escape hatch my life out of this. I'm gonna get away from this stuff because this stuff is causing too much trouble for me. And so you identify yourself through sexuality. And you unicorn yourself out of blackness in a way. And so you be running around with your hair blue in the top, just doing weird stuff to make yourself likable to the LGBTQ community. And it may work to some extent, but it doesn't work for the collective, and it really don't work for you because you have to be defanged. You can't really have a conversation about race about these people with these people around, and you don't really have no wind at your back. Nobody supports you, so you just running and running and running and running. What you doing running? What you doing running? What you doing escape hatching? I'm running, 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 running. And we tired of y'all unicorns because they don't even really give you an exchange. Like, you just over there trying to, like, get away from blackness. Like, y'all can nobody understand that American blackness, I'm talking about ADOS blackness that comes all the way from slavery. You can't really get away from that in any real way. And if you do, you end up really kind of domesticated in your life. These people will kind of domesticate you, and there are a lot of parameters about what you can do, what you can say, what you can't say, how you can move, how you can think. That's a problem. You can't flip out of blackness. You're not an acrobat. You're not an acrobat. You can't flip out of it. You're trying to flip out of it. You don't flip out of it. You can't flip out of it with a nose ring. You can't flip out of it by shaving your head and getting a mohawk. You can't flip out of it with face tattoos. You can't flip out of it. You can't flip out of it by saying, I'm going to do a play. Me and my friends, me and my wife, we're going to do a play together. I'm an artiste. You can't flip out of it, Picasso. Like, we have to understand that you don't get to flip out of this. You are this. Gay black people are worth the same 1,700 as heterosexual black people. You ain't flipped out of nothing. Stop escape hatching. Stop that. Well, I have friends from everywhere. How much of your friends helped you? For those of you who are telling me all your friends, well, I have Yvette, I have a diverse group of friends. How much have they helped you? How much have they lend themselves to your betterment? Because that's what a friend is. A friend contributes to your life. So when you ask for a favor, like, well, I know your dad works, because I know your dad works for human resources at the company. Can you get me on? Can you give me? I just really having a hard time. Had a really hard time. How many of them say, yeah, we can do it? I remember saying, man, I really don't like asking my dad for that kind of thing. You understand. Oh. Your escape hatch didn't work right. You kind of flipped. You didn't get the cartwheel right. You flipped and fell on your head, didn't you? That's a problem. Y'all got to stop flipping and falling on your heads. You got to stop flipping and falling on your heads. Can't nobody catch you. And I'm not saying this to say anything bad about anyone. What I'm trying to bring home is that being ADOS is different. It is specifically different in terms of who we are, in terms of our contribution to this country, in terms of what we've suffered through and endured and still endure in this country. Like, it is very different than any other group. That's what I'm trying to get through. And you cannot let anyone, be they a candidate or a person in your life, try to erase their privilege and their wealth transfers and everything that they had in their life. You can't let them erase their advantage through sexuality. That's not how any of this works.